Hello and welcome to Dawn Chorus Writes, a Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction and audio fiction. This is a special lyrical one-shot for Valentine's and With Love February season. And this one is called Secret Valentine. Love is just a word, and it is part of the Secret Love series. And a massive shout out, and I just love it so much, to Cat Noir for her stunning, beautiful artwork in the thumbnail that I got specially commissioned just for this one shot. So make sure you go and give her loads of love. All her information is down below in the description. Make sure you give me loads of love by smashing that like button. Comment down below what you think of it, and make sure you subscribe because there is still loads more to come. And Secret Valentine. Love is just a word. Marinette sat on the floor of her bedroom with historical fashion books opened on the pages of the classic billowing out skirts against pages with short mini dresses. She finished sketching in a notebook and added information from the text she had highlighted with a post-it, whilst in the background played Breakfast at Tiffany's on her laptop on low. How am I meant to have this paper done by Monday? Seriously, 3,000 word essays are not easy, especially since it's now Saturday. Marinette groaned, throwing her head back, tapping her pencil against her forehead. Particularly when you are multitasking. How many things have you got going on at once? Cat glanced his eyes up from his own notebook and gave her a playful grin from her chase, which she caught at the last second, peeking at him from the corner of her eyes. 3, maybe 4 things? Not all of us can sit there cross-legged with a single book. She tried to peer a little closer, but he pulled back. Princess, we agreed if we do our uni work together, then I need to keep it private so you don't learn too much. Great, I know, mumbled Marinette, but they are the things I should know, right? Plus, I would learn and study faster, cozy next to you. She wiggled her eyebrows at him, making him blush this time, and caused her grin to become wider. Princess! He shook his head in disbelief, but couldn't stop his eyes from sparkling. Your reward once you have done all this, he gestured to the ground and chuckled, is kisses and cuddles from your kitty. But if I sat next to you now... He leaned in closer, waiting for her to do the same, and then quickly withdrew, causing her eyes to go wide and an O shape to form on her lips. Just you wait, kitty. I will have my payback for that little stunt. Cat burst out laughing as she jumped to her feet and grabbed her pillow she was sitting on, only for her phone to ring. It's Alia, so you need to hush. She held her finger out to him and gave him a warning look before swiping across the screen to answer. Hey, what's up? Marinette answered, trying not to sound out of breath, holding back her laughter. Hey girl, so I was wondering, what are your plans for Valentine's Day, for tomorrow? My plans for tomorrow? She paused, throwing a questioning look at Cat, who was now making his way over to her. My project? Her look had now transformed to a warning one as Cat crept closer to her. I'm a project now, am I? He breathed. She flung her hand out to him, hoping to stop him. Yeah, my essay that is due, she added as she felt a kiss gently placed on the back of her outstretched hand. Girl, you can't do that on Valentine's Day, Alia declared on the other end of the phone. Marinette tried to yank her hand free from Kitty, but he now cupped it in his, tickling his fingers against hers, and all she could do was scrunch up a warning expression. It's fine, Alia. I'm panicking about this essay and need to get this done. She gave her hand another quick yank and succeeded in freeing it. I get it, but why don't you come to the cinema and get some ice cream too? Take a break. What? I crashed yours and Nino's Valentine's date? A third wheel to a rom-com? Thank you, but no. She shook her head, saying it to both her best friend and her kitty, who was now edging closer again. You won't be a third wheel, as Adrien said he is coming too. So if anything, Alia, I've told you already. I know you have moved on from Adrien now, but you can't let him be a third wheel either. So, you want me to go on a date with Adrien? Her words caused Cat to pause and step, glancing from the phone to Marinette before dropping them to his feet. I'm not gonna trick Adrien going on a date with me. It's fine. I'm fine. It's not a trick if he already knows you are coming. Alia! What? Are you honestly gonna tell me you aren't... What? Why? Is there someone else? No, of course not. Her gut churned at the fact that she was lying to her best friend. If only. Then she noticed Cat trying to grab her attention, and then he held his gloved thumb up in the air. She shook her head at him. Marinette, are you still there? Yeah, sorry, I got a tad distracted for a moment. So, what do you say? Come on, what's stopping you? Marinette sighed between her best friend and Kitty, who still had his thumb up. What was she meant to say? Okay, I'll go, but I mean it though, Alia. No games, okay? All right. You have my word, not that you'll need it, her best friend teased. I have to go, but I'll text you later. Catch you later then. Marinette made sure that Alia hung up on her end. Cat, explain. Marinette furrowed her eyebrows together, her tone clearly expressing her confusion and hurt. The smile vanished off his face as he tried to take a step closer to her, but she stopped him. Marinette, princess, don't be like that. Like what, Cat? Hurt that my apparent boyfriend thinks it's okay to go on a date with Adrien? And on our first Valentine's Day together? What am I meant to be like? She turned her back on him. The tears threatened to pool at the edges of her eyes. I thought Adrien was only a friend, princess. His tone was softer as she felt him edge closer. Plus, I'm guessing Alia and Nino will be there. So it's just you hanging out with your friends, right? His voice was right behind her ear as he wrapped his arms around her from behind. That's not the point, Kitty. Do you not want to spend... Her voice filtered off, knowing the tears would soon follow the words. Princess, of course I do. He rotated her around in his arms, but she kept her gaze low. I love you. You know that. Then why? Tell me why you think I should... He stroked his thumb and forefinger around her chin and lifted her head up a fraction. Because we are secret, which I never, ever regret because I get to be with you. Apart from these moments when I can't show the world how much I love you. We either hide in your room or sneak out under the moon. I don't care about that, Kitty. I just want to spend my time with you. She rolled her bottom lip between her teeth and glanced up at him through her lashes. I love you. He gathered her tightly into his arms and kissed her, confirming for her how much he loved her back. Princess, you will never know. Hearing those words from you, They mean the world to me, and I have my surprises planned for tomorrow evening, but during the day, we can't. So go and have some fun with your friends, and we have our time after, when the moon comes out. I guess, but it just feels strange somehow, she sighed, reaching a hand up to his face, stroking from his jaw to the mask, the sensation making a low purr to emit out of his chest, pulsing next to hers. Oh, one day this mask, it will come off, and I can't wait to stand in the sunshine with you, Kitty. She leaned in closer, her hand continuing into his hair as her lips pressed against the corner of his mask. Time stood still, holding each other, minds melding together as one, with the sound of his purring become music to her soul. You know, before you, I thought I knew what love was, but now it is something so much deeper, stronger, when the love is returned. You mean Buttercup? She leaned back a little, enough to catch his cheeky sparkle in his eyes as she narrowed hers with a warning, only causing him to chuckle. He pulled her in tighter, resting his head against hers. But I get it, Marinette. What I have with you is everything to me. There is nothing more to say. It's like every word has been written about love, every chord already played, but they can't express this, what we have. She breathed onto the skin of his cheek. You make everything make sense. Those songs somehow, every melody, it's different. Every line and sentiment sounds brand new. Nothing has been the same after falling in love with you. He kissed her along her cheek until his lips found hers. They pulled back, a little breathless. She leaned her head towards his fingers, playing with a strand of her hair. I mean, I used to love the song, but Purple Rain is only rain without you. And when I'm not here, with you at home, yesterday is just another day. And Hallelujah is an old song by an old man in a suit. She bit her lip, but kept her wide grin, watching a blush form across his cheeks. And I guess love is just a word. It never made sense without you. It is these moments which makes Valentine's Day every day when I'm with you, which is why I think you should go and have fun with your friends tomorrow. I mean, unless you think Adrien could have a crush on you and wants to be a date. Marinette burst out laughing, catching Cat by surprise. What? No, Adrien has never seen me like that. I know that for a fact. I'm just his friend, so you have nothing to worry about there, Kitty. He would have to be pretty blind not to have feelings for you, my princess. She raised an eyebrow at him. I mean, how could anyone not notice your beauty and fearless heart, which I know you have given to me, so I'm not worried. And I know you don't have feelings for Adrien, he said, letting out a sigh. No, of course not. It is only you in my heart, Kitty, always and forever. She placed a hand over her heart and then over his. It will be strange, I guess. I don't know why Alia is pushing it or that Adrien even agreed to it, you know? She let out a little chuckle, causing his eyebrows to raise slightly. I think Alia is just being Alia, looking out for her best friend, not knowing, and, well, Adrien, who knows what's going on in that model mind of his. Adrien is more than a model. He's kind, clever, and... She stopped, catching his narrowing gaze. What I'm saying is, he's my friend. He's more than a model, especially when he hates it so much. Maybe I should rethink this little meetup. Are you sure Adrien is? She cut him off by placing a hand over his mouth. She couldn't help laughing at his startled expression. Yes, Kitty. He's one of my closest friends. That is all, and I think you are right. It will be good to hang out with them. With all this university work, and then spending any free time I have with you. She leaned in closer as he kissed her palm that was still covering his lips, causing a shiver to tingle up her arm. She gently brushed her hand away, her fingers stroking his lips, as a deep blush formed in his cheeks. His arms gripped tighter around her waist, his face edged closer to hers, seeing only love and desire in his eyes. Then she pulled back, giggling at his eyes going wide and the O now across his face. But the strength to resist was weak, crashing her lips against his, inhaling his chuckle as her own, but soon gave way to a kiss that made her body and mind fly, whilst his grip lifted her off the ground. Gradually, she came back to earth a little disorientated, knowing if he released her right now, she would crumble to the floor. How was it possible to love someone this much? To the point there was only one heart, one soul. To the point she was willing to give up her biggest rule and know. Oh, how much she wanted to know him without the mask on. Fighting against the urge not to give in and believe one day, one day, she would have it all with him. I trust you, Marinette, with my heart, with my soul, in our love. He breathed onto her neck, just below her ear, as his heart vibrated against hers with his purr. And in doing so, I have learnt trust is something you can't think. It's so delicate and fragile, and it's something you can't break. They call it luck. It's something you can't make. It's a falling star you're catching, and you hope to God it stays. And you caught me, and I caught you. He kissed the goosebumps his breath had caused before leaning back, locking onto her eyes and knowing her reply already. There was nothing more to be said. The following day, Adrien readied himself for the friendship date with Marinette, plus Nino and Alia, trying to ignore Plag's protest of him playing with fire. If you play with it long enough, you'll get burnt, kid. Then what? I know, Plag. I also know she doesn't like Adrien. Me, that way. He sighed. If only she did. If only he had that moment with her yesterday, all the time. His heart fluttered in his chest at the mere thought of that moment. Oh, how was he going to play it cool around his princess today, with that replaying in his mind? But in hers, all she would see was Cat, not him. But this way, I get to hang out with her in public, going to the movies, sharing popcorn. Kid, this ain't a date, remember? I know. Don't you think I know that? I will have to wait for tonight to be her boyfriend, and I'm happy to just be her friend. Friends don't order a massive bouquet of flowers on their phones in the middle of the night to take to the movies. I can't show up empty-handed. Oh, enough, Plag. It'll be fine. I know what I'm doing. Yeah, right. I'm gonna forsake Camembert and only eat cheddar. No, I didn't mean it. He darted to his cheese board on the dresser and kissed the gooey cheese. Plag, you're impossible. You know that. He glanced at his reflection, making sure his hair was just right. The bottom of his slim-fitted shirt wasn't hanging over the edge of his belt, and placed his phone into the pocket of his jeans. This wasn't a date. No, she loves Cat, not Adrien. They were friends. Friends. Oh, how much he hated that word sometimes. He flung his leather satchel over his shoulder for Plag to hide inside, amongst his study books and a smell-proof container of cheese. Come on, buddy. We can't be late. For your friend date? Plag cackled as he disappeared inside, and Adrien just groaned. Adrien placed his earbuds and couldn't stop himself from playing the mixture of songs Marinette had gathered together for Cat one evening. I like the thought for when we can't be together and you miss me and I miss you, and we can listen to the same tracks to bring us together. Like looking out at the moon and stars, no matter where you are. You are bound simultaneously. Oh, how this playlist had become the soundtrack to his life for now, with a blend of happy, emotional songs. Grinning when she stole his cat phone and found that she had added more to the playlist. Small reminders of ones they had heard on the radio as they studied or danced to in her room. But at the top of the list still remained their song, When You Said Nothing at All. The song which had played when he finally gotten enough courage to ask her out on their first secret date. The song he had purposely played in the background when he uttered the words, I love you, for the first time, knowing by the look in her eyes she felt the same. Oh, if only she could love all of him, know all of him. But like he said to her last night, he trusted their love, and one day she would see that it was him all along. Until then, Adrien was her dear friend and Cat was her love. He had to be grateful for that. He got off at a subway station near the cinema and made the stop at the florist. But when he saw the size of the wildflower bouquet, they would need to buy an additional ticket for the cinema just so that the flowers had a seat of their own. Plus, he had been overjoyed that the florist had wildflowers and meant to make a mental note as a cat gift. How was Adrien meant to explain choosing these over traditional roses? He ambled down the street, getting strange looks from passers-by whilst tapping at his bag for Plag to stop cackling with laughter and use the flowers to hide his blushing cheeks. He was 10 minutes early, wondering if Marinette would be late, finding himself grinning as a memory of her dashing around, fumbling and stumbling all over the place as she gathered her supplies together to head out the door. Oh, he wouldn't change her for the world, his sweet Marinette. Adrien, is that you behind? She peered her head around as he dropped the bouquet lower, knowing his cheeks were bright red. Hi, Marinette. So, these are for you? He thrust them forward, catching her off guard, and heard her let out a little squeak as they hit her face. Oh, so sorry, I didn't mean, are you alright? You're not. Get it together, Adrien. This isn't meant to be a date, for goodness sake. And even if it was, this is Marinette. Someone you know better than yourself and been dating for the past 6 months, 11 days, and he paused, thinking about how many hours. Adrien? He glanced back up and caught her gaze and noticed a look of concern. Are you alright? Yeah, I'm fine. You? Now wishing he had the flowers back to hide behind. I think my face did more damage to the flowers than the other way round, and thank you for them. Oh, he could tell what she was about to say. The friendship flowers. I know this isn't, but I still wanted to get you something to show you how much you mean to me, Marinette. Wow. Thank you. And how did you know wildflowers are my favourite? She gave him a quizzical look, which burrowed into his mind. You're not a traditional flower girl. You find beauty where others dare not. He watched a blush form across her cheeks as she inhaled the subtle scent from some of the blue and white tiny buds. Well, thank you, and here, a happy Valentine's Day. She pulled out a wrapped parcel from her bag and handed it to him. He knew he was giving her a wide-eyed look. Why would she be giving Adrien a gift? A Valentine's gift? Maybe he was wrong. Maybe she had some sort of feelings. It's not much, just a token, gesture, but couldn't turn up now and not give each of you a gift showing you how much you all mean to me. Okay, why was his heart sinking at the thought she was giving them all gifts? That was a good thing, right? Meant her love was fixed on Cat and not Adrien. Go on, you can open it up, you know. Oh, yeah, thanks. He opened the small parcel and was confronted with an image of him and Marinette taking a selfie a month ago, all wrapped up in a hat and scarf, after a massive snowball fight, their eyes sparkling and cheeks glowing red against the white background. But what made this extra special was the picture had been transferred onto a piece of fabric and fashioned into a keyring. Without her knowing it, Marinette had given him the most perfect gift, and could now have a constant picture of his princess with him. I hope it's okay with you. I just love this picture of us. That afternoon was so much fun, and how great it was that we beat Alia and Nino. She chuckled. Oh, the physical pain and not being able to kiss her right now. Okay, this might be harder than he thought it would be. Marinette, this... Did I hear my name being... What are those? That isn't a bunch of flowers. That is literally a field. A grass? What on earth? Alia chortled, her eyes observing Marinette, knowing they were holding their own secret conversation. Dude, what the flowers? Nino had his hand outstretched, pointing at Marinette and then at him as he dashed towards them, catching up with Alia, who had ran ahead. Adrien rubbed the back of his neck, now regretting his choice more than ever, and gave his bag an extra shake, looking like he was adjusting his strap as the sensation of plague laughing shook against his leg. Oh, this little gremlin will not let me forget this incident anytime soon. Well, I think they are beautiful and a lovely friendship gesture from Adrien. Marinette gazed up at him and gave him a warm smile before throwing another secret message to Alia through a look. Yes, Adrien, they are a stunning friendship gift, and I'm happy to accept mine too. Alia desperately tried to keep a straight face, but failed within 2 seconds, nudging Nino in the ribs as they both doubled over in laughter. Alia, said Marinette. Ha ha, Alia. There was a mistake in the order, but she's still worth every flower. Adrien shot Marinette a look as her cheeks turned red. Yeah, a mistake, Nino added, returning the jab to Alia. Okay, enough, you two. I have a gift for you. Not sure if you deserve it, though. We're behaving, I promise. Gift, please. Alia batted her lashes at Marinette with her hands outstretched. Marinette rolled her eyes at her friend, but with a wide grin on her face. He noticed that they were the same size as his was, keeping the key ring clenched in his hand, picturing the image she had transformed. He eagerly watched them open up the package, and his heart dropped slightly as Alia held up a similar one. Marinette, I love it. That is such a great picture of me and my boy. Alia quickly took her keys out of her pocket and secured it on. Yeah, totally love it. Thanks, friend. Nino, who had been watching Adrien, hung it out in front of him. It was a similar design, but they were right. The photo they had was of the two of them from the same day, but performing their personalized high five whilst looking loving in each other's eyes. So what did it mean that for his, she had picked out a picture of the two of them? No, Adrien, stop it. Marinette is deeply, passionately in love with Cat, he reminded himself while studying his own. Okay, we should head inside before we miss the start of the film. So is that 5 seats then? Alia said, linking arms with her man. Don't listen to her, Adrien. I love them, even if they are on the larger size. Shall we? Marinette offered him her arm to link. He took it with a bashful smile. His princess was amazingly thoughtful. Thanks, Marinette. Should we get some popcorn? Large or extra large? He smirked and she giggled. The film had been random, selected by Nino, he had guessed, featuring a giant squid battling a shark, and even at the end of it, he wasn't sure why. Not that he was really paying any attention, as each time his hand brushed against Marinette's in the oversized popcorn bucket, she had insisted on going with the flowers, his heart skipped a beat and yearned to wrap his arm around her shoulder. Never had he wished to be Cat more. Once they were gathered back outside, Marinette turned down the offer to go for ice cream and made her excuse to leave, blaming it on the essay she still needed to finish off. Adrien, following her lead, suggested Nino and Alia have some time together and he will see them back at their shared flat later. Not wanting to waste any more time, Adrien found the nearest alleyway to slip into. Plag? He said, making sure to remove Cat's present for his princess before transforming. He had been practicing absorbing his bag when turned into Cat, so he didn't have to keep darting back and forth to his flat when visiting Marinette. What? Adrien gives her the biggest ever present of flowers, whilst Cat gives her a tiny red box with a pink ribbon? I wish I could have seen her face. Plag, seriously. Plus, what's in this box means so much more. I just wish she accepts it. He couldn't help feeling giddy. Claws out! At last, he was free to be a kitty once more, free to express how much he loved her. He landed down on the balcony and took in the scene of Marinette, twirling in her desk chair, tapping her pen to her forehead before focusing back on the red heart card on her desk. She had changed into a pink pair of jeans and a soft pink t-shirt. He clenched the box in his hand behind his back and knocked on the window, laughing as she jumped to her feet with a start, almost tripping over a chair whilst folding the card over. He couldn't wait any longer. Cat lifted the window and jumped in. Wait, Kitty, it's not ready. You are early and... He landed down next to her, grabbed her hand and pulled her in towards him. Hello? Someone is... He leaned in closer, smoothly turned the handhold into a hug, rubbing his cheek against hers. Oh, princess, you don't know how much I've wanted to hold you like this all day. So, you regret sending me on a date with Adrien then? She whispered into his ear. Because I don't. I really enjoyed myself. He could see the bouquet he had given her was now divided into 3 separate vases dotted around her room. What's with the flowers, princess? Oh, they are from Adrien. She pulled back a little more so that he was drowning in her ocean eyes. Oh, really? Do I need to have a word with Adrien? No, Kitty. They are friendship flowers, and I love them. Not him, just the flowers. He raised an eyebrow at the sweet smile across her lips as she stepped out of his hold. She turned her back on him and collected the heart on the desk. What, is my kitty jealous? No, of course not. He might have gotten you some flowers whilst She spun round to see him bowing slightly. What is behind your back? She copied his move, flicking his bell, and tried to peek behind him. The ringing sound caused his heart to soar as he took a deep breath and brought the box round, watching her eyes widen. This gift has its own secrets. She cradled the box in her hand, her questioning eyes darting from his face to the gift, lifting the lid. Her lips shifted from a smile to an O shape. It's called a clad ring, symbolizing love and friendship, of enduring love that will survive any test. But what makes it special is how the person wears it. She raised an eyebrow, but allowed him to continue to tell his story. Now, if the person wears the ring on the right hand with the crown facing inwards, then you are declaring your heart is not yet won. If you wear it on the right hand with the crown facing outwards, then you are considering the love. And how should I wear it when your heart no longer belongs to yourself anymore? When it beats in someone else's chest? He lifted the ring out of the box and took hold of her left hand. Now, if you wear it on your left hand with the crown facing outwards, then you are declaring your heart is forever taken. He slid the polished ring onto her middle finger with the crown facing outwards, sealing it there with a kiss. What? Not my other finger, kitty cat? I'm designing a different ring to go on that finger, my princess. Designing? Does that mean? She glanced down at the ring. You designed it? The green heart? It's an emerald to match my eyes. White gold, and if you see closely, one hand is a claw whilst the other is a regular hand. I'm half the man I'm supposed to be, and there is only one more thing to say. How you are the better part of me. How the whole of me loves you, not just Cat Noir. And I promise that one day we will no longer hide in secret. But until then, I'm happy just to be with you, Cat, and I will wait no matter how long it takes, and no matter who you are under this mask. You have my heart. You are my heart. But oh, my gift compared to yours? Princess, you are the gift. How you are wearing the ring? But saying that, I would still like to know what you've written. He wiggled his eyebrows at a nervous look on her face. My Prince Kitty, we fall in love more every day. When I'm with you, the love in my heart is true. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. You're everything to me. He didn't let her finish before enveloping her into his arms and kissing her tenderly, knowing his heart couldn't cope hearing any more as his tears pooled between their lips. He could never have dreamt of having anyone love him like this, especially someone as special as Marinette. That today she might be his secret Valentine, but that was okay for now. To think that love was just a word without you, knowing there's nothing more to say. He breathed into her skin, because every word's already been written, and every chord already played, she said, softly leaning her forehead against his. Marinette, you are my everything. You are my home. In that case, Kitty, can I suggest we cozy up and watch a film? Something light, romantic, and fluffy to rid my mind of the one I just saw. With your friend? Yes. She flicked his bell again and laughed. Plus, some of Papa's strawberry heart-shaped macaroons. I thought they were sold out. They did. He made us an extra batch. She gave him a wink whilst his heart was overflowing. So what do you say? You had me at cozy. But what about your essay due tomorrow? Oh, I got up early and finished it this morning. So all I needed to do tonight was to be with you. Wow, now that is what you call love. Marinette, my night owl, willing to wake early to finish a paper? For me? In that case, you get to pick the film. They settled down in the usual spot, with his arm wrapped around his princess as her head lay on his chest. Still not paying much attention to the film, but to the moment, like so many others they shared together. After all, every day with his princess was Valentine's Day. Thank you for listening to Secret Valentines. Love is just a word. I hope you enjoyed it. Extra fluff at Valentine's Day. And make sure you smash that like button. Comment down below what you think of it and where it lies in the secret love series, and make sure you subscribe so you do not miss out on future treats and one-shots and series and everything that's coming your way. And I hope you're good, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.